demanded a divorce while she wishes to reconcile, but the husband seems insistent. Shall she pursue reconciliation or shall she release him? And she's also tired of cold feedback from her husband. Thanks, Anthony. So in the case of that, you just got to make a decision. If you really want if it's from the, obviously the wife, if the wife really wants to make it work again, it's amazing because sometimes you can make it work again. Another old story, I don't know if I've told this for a while. This is one of the disciples in Singapore. She was a marriage counsellor. And she told this story. This woman came up to her and she said her husband, she was sure her husband had a mistress. He's been coming home late from work and always been very cold to her. Never sort of saying a kind word to her. So it was her who wanted a divorce. So she went to the marriage counsellor to say, shall we get a divorce? And the counsellor said, does he love you? Of course not. Well, look, if you get a divorce now, you do exactly what he wants. Are you happy with that? No! I'm not going to do what he wants. Exactly, said the counsellor. So what I want you to do is make him fall in love with you again, and then divorce him. Yes, she said. And that was the plan. And of course it wasn't that hard, she started, got a sexy hairdo, started wearing some more sort of revealing clothes, makeup, perfume. There's no end of stuff you can do. That's half the economy is trying to sort of attract the other sex. And so anyway, she started dressing up, being kind and using her charms on him. And she'd go to the counsellor every week to give a report, and it's actually working. He was coming home earlier, and he was giving her a hug, and then he was giving her a kiss, and then, it was actually working. And is he falling in love with you yet? Not quite yet. Keep on going. Because that's our plan. As soon as he's really in love with you, we'll divorce him. He deserves it. And then she stopped coming for a couple of weeks. And so the counsellor rang her, you've missed 2 appointments. And said, oh, what's going on? So, oh, no, it's okay. Has he fallen in love with you? Yeah, he's fallen in love with me now. Great, divorce him. Oh, no, he's so nice. And the counsellor said, mission accomplished. Because that's the plan all along. The counsellor never wanted them to get divorced. Hurting the husband in that way was just a way of showing her that she could make him fall in love again. I mean, I'm a monk. How do I know about these things? But I've listened to so many people. One of the most important things in a relationship, in a marriage, is that the other person cares. He really cares for you. And you can do that. So after a while, we don't care enough about each other. We just take each other for granted. And if you really care, when you get that care up and you express it in words and in actions, you can turn your relationship around. That's the most important thing. Even in Singapore some years ago, I was teaching in a youth camp, and I just split the boys and girls into 2 different groups. And I asked the boys, these were like 18 to 20, 22 maybe, and I asked them, said, well, what do you like in a girl? What sort of girl do you want to spend time with? And of all the qualities, being beautiful or being sexy, that was actually down the list. They wanted a girl they could trust, who could care for them. All the girls were listening intently as I said this, because they wanted to know what they had to do to attract a nice guy. And then I asked the girls, well, what turns you on with boys? What type of boy do you want? It was exactly the same, someone they could trust and care. It was a wonderful little exercise there, because all these other things which we think are going to make us attractive, sort of great hairstyles, designer clothes, they weren't that important. No, they were important, but not that important. What was most important was the people who care and look after each other. So that's actually how relationships work. So, you can if you want to, but there's sometimes that we know our limitations and we think, okay, that's enough. So, what is nice, if you are going to split, please split without any guilt. It's nobody's fault. This sometimes happens, it's impermanent, it changes, it won't last, this too will pass. If that's the case, I don't think it's his fault. Or if it's a woman, she usually thinks it's her own fault, you start feeling guilty. And that helps no one at all. So if you're going to split, remember splitting a nice this way. In other words, yes, we had a wonderful time together, it's an each other. It's not your fault, it's not my fault, we drifted apart. It's common, it happens in life. It's not sort of our destiny. So that way we can actually split without recrimination. But it has to be very clear. Because the problem is, as you all know, when one person has this hope, well, maybe she really does still love me, maybe it really isn't all over. Please make it very clear so both sides know that this is over, it's it, finished. Because otherwise, if there's any lingering hope on one side, that's just really unfair, just ruins a lot of life. So there you go. Mark has never been married, served for 36 years, knows all about marriage. Another question now, so coming up. Yes.